So what happens when a hero who believes life is completely meaningless is suddenly confronted by a villain who is basically a living, breathing reflection of that exact belief? This isn't just a battle of powers, you guys. It's a fight for the very soul of a god. And honestly, the outcome changes everything.
Okay, let's just dive right in with this one line because it is absolutely chilling. This right here sets the stage for a conflict that isn't fought with fists, but with a horrifyingly perfect mirror held up to our hero's own dark soul.
All right, so first, we've got to meet our hero, Vath-kon. Yeah, he's a Kryptonian, he's got godlike power, but he is not driven by hope or justice. Nope. They call him the Quantum Wraith, mostly because of his detached, almost ghostly presence. He's guided by a worldview that is just bleak. And this right here, this is the core of his entire being. Vath-kon's whole existence, every single action he takes, it's all built on this one powerful idea, that in the grand cosmic scheme of things, nothing, and I mean nothing, truly matters.
You know, his powers are pretty much a physical manifestation of his philosophy. It's wild. He doesn't just defeat his enemies. He uses his nuclear vision to show them how pointless their struggle is, basically fast-forwarding them to their inevitable end.
So now, let's meet the man who holds up that mirror to our nihilistic god. This is the disgraced and, frankly, desperate physicist, Dr. Thorne.
And here's the fascinating twist. Thorne isn't Vath-kon's opposite, he's his human echo. This is such a cool take on the hero-villain dynamic because they basically share the same dark outlook. Thorne just got there not from some cosmic perspective, but from really profound personal tragedy and loss.
And Thorne, well, he takes this shared philosophy to its most terrifying logical conclusion. He doesn't just believe life is meaningless. He cooks up this catastrophic plan to prove it to the entire world. His method is just chillingly direct. The plan is to use a massive quantum flux capacitor to kick off a stable, perpetual nuclear reaction that would just slowly radiate the entire eastern seaboard. It's a genocide designed to be the ultimate philosophical statement.
So naturally, when Vath-kon finally confronts him, Thorne doesn't even throw a punch. He knows that's pointless. Instead, he uses a way more potent weapon against a being like Vath-kon. He uses his own philosophy against him.
He basically just confronts Vath-kon with his own internal monologue. He says, "Look at you. You're an alien god who sees us as pointless. You prove my point." He literally turns Vath-kon's entire identity into an accusation. And what happens when you're faced with this perfect, undeniable reflection of your own beliefs? Vath-kon freezes. He is, just for a second, paralyzed by agreement. And that one moment, that's all Thorne needs to get away and put his horrific plan into motion.
This right here, this is the turning point. Thorne's argument forces Vath-kon to violate his own core belief. To stop this catastrophe, he has to actively strive. He has to care about stopping a collapse that, secretly, he probably thinks is justified. The philosophical debate is over. Now, it gets physical.
Thorne sets up a battlefield specifically designed to exploit Vath-kon's unique nature. He seals them in the old nuclear facility, deploys these specially shielded defenses, and then turns the room itself into a weapon by flooding it with radiation, all while a doomsday clock is ticking down.
So, forced to act, Vath-kon has to unleash his most volatile and unusual abilities. Using this ice-cold fire breath, it's the first real sign of him breaking his code of cold, detached efficiency. He's being forced to get creative, you know? He's being forced to actually try.
For this point on, every single thing Vath-kon does is a physical argument against Thorne's nihilism, and by extension, his own. He absorbs the radiation that's supposed to kill him and uses it to fight back. He's literally turning a force of decay into a tool for preservation.
But as that countdown hits zero, Vath-kon realizes that just destroying the device is going to trigger the explosion anyway. Thorne has created this perfect no-win scenario. And that leads Vath-kon to a final, desperate, and totally paradoxical choice.
In this moment of pure clarity, he does something completely counterintuitive. He unleashes his kryptonite energy blast, an energy that's toxic to him, against a device powered by the very pro-Kryptonian nuclear fuel that gives him his strength.
What this does is trigger a violent, localized feedback loop. The two opposing energies basically just cancel each other out, neutralizing the whole threat. He saves millions of people, not through simple destruction, but through this act of highly volatile paradoxical creation.
He survives, but he's left bruised, weakened, temporarily human, and he's just sitting alone on a skyscraper as the sun comes up. The act of saving a world he thought was meaningless has fundamentally changed him, and now he has to confront a new, really uncomfortable truth.
So in the end, Dr. Thorne, that tragic human mirror, he actually succeeded. He didn't destroy the world, no, but he achieved his real goal. He forced a God who believed in absolutely nothing to finally choose to care about something.
And that just leaves us with this final question, right? If life truly is meaningless, what does it say that we still choose to fight for it? Maybe that choice, the choice to create meaning for ourselves, is the only thing that matters at all.